Manipur government ki Directorate of Environment Sinduna October ki tang tara hundoida Legislature and Administrative Secretaries on Climate Change Adaptation haiba orientation program ama Imperial Hall Hotel Classic Grande Imphal da pangthokre. Thauram aduda Manipur ki Chief Minister N Biren, Forest and Environment Minister SHYAMKUMAR, Miss MARYLAURE CRETTAZ, Head and Councillor Swiss Cooperation Office, India Embassy of Switzerland, Atai Minister Singh, MLA Singh, Additional Chief Secretary Amadi, Mioy Kayasu Saruk Yaki.
Program for legislatures and administrative secretaries on climate change adaptation. Please give a big hand. The Honourable Chief Minister has lighted the inaugural lamp, to be followed by Ms. MARYLAURE, Swiss Corporation Office, India Embassy of Switzerland, and the host, SHRI SHYAMKUMAR, Honourable Minister.
Mayambu taramna okpagi warolda Sri Sambhu Singh, Additional Chief Secretary, Government of Manipur.
We all know that in his previous avatar as Minister of Forest and Environment, he had initiated a lot of activities, and the subject of global warming had been really very close to his heart, and it has always agitated him. Sir, I feel great pleasure in welcoming you here. I welcome the Honorable Minister of Forest Environment and all Honorable MLAs and Ministers.
The Head and Councillor of the Swiss Corporation Office, India Embassy of Switzerland. Please give us a hand. Will be presented to Honourable Chief Minister. Please give a big hand. Thank you so much, ma'am. To Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change.
Sri Hempandi, IAS retired, former Secretary to the Government of India in the Consumer Affairs Department and Special Secretary to Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India na Climate Change and Climate Finance ki matangda asuna phongdokhi.
This is India Network on Climate Change Adaptation. They have projected this data. EC-MOD, International Center for Integrated Mountain Development, says that by end of this century, which is alarming, it might go further up. So we have a lot of things to do that it doesn't go up. In rainfall, Mr. Sambhu Singh, my colleague, had already mentioned that it's erratic already. There are trends which are alarming. Then rainfall post monsoon. So these are all implications of change in weather and climate, and likewise.
Krishnan Jindal, consultant NAPCONS na climate change adaptation ki matangda asum na haiki.
Visualize the kind of resources which are required to meet those challenges, be it forestry, be it agriculture, be it water bodies, and I think everywhere there are issues and we have to address the issues. Then we definitely need the climate finance. In India, we try to estimate the climate finance requirement over a longer period, up to 2030. You see here we have put it in two areas. One is the adaptation. Adaptation is, as Mr. Pandey has explained, adaptation is when we try to adapt to the climate change. This is what the current project which Swiss Cooperation is implementing, they are trying to do. It's a project on adaptation. And the other one is mitigate, when we try to sort of remove the disease itself. One is we adjust to the changes. The other one is we sort of stop the changes. and obviously mitigation is much more expensive. Now in the adaptation, our estimation is 206 billion up to 2030, whereas for mitigation it is 834 billion. It is a very climate finance is a huge challenge before us. So our efforts, keeping in view the task, so in the Green Climate Fund, whereas
Tungda wahang pakhumgi thoram amasu pangthokhi.
Secretaries. For example, my village, locally it is called Hairok. Hairok means, it's a land of village of fruits, local fruits. When I was a young boy, we had a lot of more than 40-50 varieties of fruits being grown in my village. So seasonal fruits. Now we hardly see any of those local fruits now. If we replace the trees and plants which were local, regional kind of trees and plants by other trees and plants which are being imported from other places, whether it will affect the environment, climate, it will contribute in the climate change. That is one. Second question. And third one is change, as we say, change is only permanent thing in the world. So we cannot stop change. Our question is whether change is for better or for worse. Is it negative change or positive change? Whether we can have an ideal environment where there is no change at all regarding climate. And when presentation was given on this funding, you said you were talking about reactive kind of activities. That is, one is adaptation and mitigation. But is there any activities which is proactive, preventive kind of activities? Or are you funding on those activities? If you can throw some lights, I think we will be educated. Thank you.
If you replace the native flora and fauna by imported exotic, today exotics have become invasives. Invasive alien species is a huge reason for climate change. So that must be avoided, and local people know the best use of, and that's what you were saying, that local culture, local traditions. Unfortunately, there is no market for that. In a world where we are running after the money, where we want the kind of living that everything will. So money is not. That's where I said, please sell the beauty of Manipur. This valley is so beautiful. Bring the tourists here. Plane loads of tourists here who will go create homestays. In my state in Uttarakhand, we have been able to create homestays where people, in a place called Munchari, almost 8,000 feet altitude, there was hardly a hotel. People go for trek there. There's no place to stay. Now the local people, bread and breakfast, and they have been organized. So online you can book now today, and I lived there recently. It was pleasure. It was much better than a 5-star hotel, and we ate in the same kitchen where the family were eating. It was homestays are very popular. It doesn't need much money. So we'll have to change our mindset. Your tourism policy has to be environment friendly. Bring this beautiful place, bring as many people as possible. Go for variety. Monoculture is not a solution. Coming to a technology, when I said, unfortunately, my colleague from Switzerland won't mind. Unfortunately, when we get tied funds, when I say you take 0 or 1% interest rate loan or soft loan, I also say take my technology. And many a times it has happened in our country that we have got obsolete technology. A technology in Western world, when they were cleaning their rivers, they cleaned their rivers. How did they clean their rivers? They removed all the chemical plants. But we were setting up the chemical plants in our country and polluting our rivers.
No, my point is
So state-of-the-art technology we need, and we have an opportunity to do it. We must get the best of the technology today at an affordable price.
One second.
Yeah.
You said, in the world, in terms of human resources, even in USA, Indian scientists are doing very excellent this thing. So why can't we have best technology in India? That is my question. When you said,
See, that is when I said innovate. We have to innovate. Solar, I must be very frank, sir, if you allow me, I must be very frank. Solar technology, for solar, we need it more. We must innovate. Nobody will innovate
my
for
point
us.
is, you have scientists,
Yeah.
best of the scientists.
Yes.
Sri T.I. SHYAMKUMAR, Minister, Forest and Environment, Government Manipur na thorom adugi matangda asumna phongdoki.
Climate change for their livelihood, of which are totally depends on agriculture, horticulture, fisheries, forest products, natural resources like water, soil, biodiversity. Considering the impacts of the climate change, the state government, in consultation with the underlying department and stakeholders, has been implementing the identified strategies and action under the State Action Plan on Climate Change. I am happy to state that the ongoing climate change adaptation project at Phayeng, that is the Imphal West district, from here this about 15-16 kilometers, is one of the integrated modern project which is being implemented by the allied departments with community participation. Moreover, UNDP has also extended support in implementation of the energy efficiency and renewable energy activities in the state and the government environment facilities. The Departments of Science and Technology, Government of India, has also strengthened the state climate change cell in the Directorate of Environment, Government of Manipur, by conducting series of capacity building and training program at different levels and different places in Manipur. Now, with the guidance of the Honorable Chief Minister, Manipur, and in consultation with all the Honorable Minister, all the Honorable MLAs, Department of the Forest Environment is planning to conserve and protect the major water resources, including lakes, like this one, Honorable Chief Minister, this one, Madam, we discussed with the Honorable Chief Minister Chamber, so Honorable Chief Minister mentioned this one, Lampen part also, no? It's a very important. Wetland forest resources, biodiversity, etc. The department has given more attention towards improvement of livelihood and its sustainability with more resilience in climate change adaptation. I extend my gratitude to delegates from Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, representatives from the NEPCONs for their service and cooperation for conducting series of capacity building and training to the state government officers. I do hope that the HDC will further support in other areas of the climate adaptation program in the state in its best possible ways. Thank you all, sir.
Thorum adugi matangda Miss MARYLAURE CRETTAZ, Head and Counselor, Swiss Cooperation Office, India, Embassy of Switzerland na asuna phongdoki.
The Deputy Head of the Office, the team of IHCAP, I don't see them, where are they? There, on the photograph. Dr. Mustafa Ali Khan, he's the head of the project, and Mrs. Divya Mohan. They are coming very regularly in Manipur and in all the states where we're working. This afternoon, we had the opportunity to talk to the Chief Minister and his team, and I think we review some of the ongoing work that we're doing through the project, and we agree on new area of cooperation. We are very grateful, sir, for your time and a very fruitful discussion we had. Switzerland and India share close bilateral relations ever since India's independence. In 2018, we will celebrate the 70 years of the Swiss-Indian friendship, and this year of friendship has been launched by our president, Mrs. Doris Leuthard, when she visited India at the end of August of this year. We're working together in many fields, such as economy, trade, research, culture, and also policy issues. For more than 50 years, Switzerland has also supported India development through the dedicated international cooperation program. The focus of the cooperation has evolved over time. global issues of common concerns such as climate change, food security, or water availability have gained more attention in the recent years. The current Indo-Swiss cooperation program aims in particular at partnering for a climate-compatible development. It addresses both the effect and the causes of the climate change, adaptation and mitigation that we heard before. Climate change is a growing concern for the world, and I think I got a question before from a journalist, what does it mean for the youth? This is a growing concern for the young people as well. I mean, they have to understand what's happening and also understand that we need to take action as soon as possible. Mountain regions are especially sensitive to the impact of a changing climate, putting at risk many of the goods and services provided by the mountains. I'm from a small village in the Alps. I've been working many years in the Andes on a native forest, and now I'm just for 6 weeks here in India, but also very linked to the Himalayan context and problematic. I think the impact of climate change are being manifested across all these mountain regions in the world in the form of increased extreme weather. We just heard about the floods and the landslides and the impact on natural resources. We were a few weeks ago in Uttarakhand, and we saw also how the community are coping with water-related stress due to drying of mountain spring. This is the other extreme, to say it like this. The Himalayan region is vulnerable, and we've heard already a lot of statistics. I don't want to come back on that. The increase of temperature and also the move of the monsoon season. What's interesting to see that in India there are already some response, and we heard it from the previous presentation. States have their plan of action on climate change, and we have the different missions that you were mentioning before. In that context, in 2018, in response to a request from the government of India, the global program Climate Change and Environment of SDC agreed to have a scientific cooperation and capacity building to be implemented as a bilateral cooperation program by the Department of Science and Technology, DST and SDC. Together we designed the Indian Himalayan Climate Adaptation Program, the HCAP, and known as the Indo-Swiss Bilateral Program, where SDC is a technical and knowledge partner to implement the national mission on the Himalayan. The first phase of the project was from 2012 to 2015. We started working in one state, and then we decided on the second phase that started last year to outscale the good practices to all the Himalayan states of the country. The overall of the project is to strengthen the resilience of vulnerable communities in the Himalayas and to enhance and connect the knowledge and capacities of research institutions, communities, and decision makers. In the actual phase, there is a lot of activities going on where we try to build capacities on vulnerability and risk assessment, adaptation planning and implementation, and to raise public awareness and strengthen science, policy, and practice platform. So far the project has supported the development of a common framework, which is actually a tool to assess better climate vulnerability and risk assessment. This is based on an IPCC approach, and it has been developed by the Indian Institute of Science of Bangalore. And the idea is to work on this tool and to train the different states to work with this tool. We have already a training in July 2017, and I'm glad to report that 5 representatives of the Manipur state government and research institution participated in this event. More such specific training will be conducted in the future. We also have different sets of training and capacity building events in the different states. With the support of NAPCONS, we have designed a training program for different audience. and we have a kind of 5 types of event. One is the one we're having tonight, which is actually a combined orientation program for legislators and senior officials, and with the idea of awareness raising on the policy level of what is climate change and what is impact of it and what does it mean at the policy level. I hope that after the discussion we will also get some feedback from your side. What do you learn?
Miyoi kayana saruk yaduna pangthokiba thorom aduda Chief Minister N Birena asuna phongdoki.
Funds or without having the mindset, we cannot do. Recently, we are facing this in the last 6 months. We are facing 4 or 5 times flood in the state. More than 22 people were killed, were died due to the landslide and the flood. Many houses were sink in the hills. Landslide were taken place. Why? Clearly is a sign of climate change. Still raining, why? Rain has to be stopped just months back, but still continuing. So we all are aware that climate change is a complex problem which is also environmental in nature. Has far-reaching consequences for all sphere and of existence on planet. Climate change has come to be seen as a major global environmental challenge, since all the natural systems are directly or indirectly linked to the climate. Any change in climate parameters is likely to disrupt the efficiency of the functioning and thereby impacting the resource and the associated economy. Many natural and human systems are also being affected by regional climate change, particularly rise in temperature. India, with its geophysical and climate characteristic, is stated to be vulnerable to the occurrence of extreme events. The northeastern region of the country in general and Manipur in particular are highly susceptible to climate change, not only because of high physical exposure, but also livelihood and economic activities are closely tied to the natural resource base. Giving all these views as priority, the state government has already targeted to achieve the national commitment on climate change, mitigation and adaptation, like number 1, generation of 105 megawatt of on-grid solar rooftop facility by 2022, to the enhancing of water accessibility and the rejuvenation of water resource, including stream head management. Third, protection of wetland and other natural resources, as I mentioned earlier. Fourth, promotion of organic farming along with modern scientific agriculture. And 5, garbage free green cities, etc. The state government has already established one solid waste management at Lamding, and now the function has started, but the capacity is a little bit low, small, so we're trying to have another schemes of it. In addition to this target, many national flagship programs like Green India Mission, National Solar Mission, Urban Renewal and the Retrofitting Program under Smart City Mission, Housing to the Rural Poor under Pradhan Mantri Gramin Yojana, Awas Yojana, LPG facilities to the eligible women candidate from BPL families under Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, which is in the afternoon when we discussed, we mentioned you, have also been taken up in the state. The state government, in its last meeting of advisory committee on climate change, has decided to review the existing state plan, state action plan on climate change, so that it can be more effective in dealing with the changing situation, which was prepared during 2013. Based on its evaluation and monitoring report, this will enable to have the state climate change policy taking into account of the UN Sustainable Development Goal by 2030. Today I am very happy to know that Government of Switzerland is willing to extend technical support for preparation of 3 reports of the state, namely, second version of the State Action Plan on Climate Change 2017, and the technical evaluation and monitoring report of the existing State Action Plan on Climate Change 2013, and the Manipur State Climate Change Policy. Just in this evening when we discussed with the Madam and the respected former secretaries, the need of the hour is, you see, we have to give alternative way for survival. In the hills particularly, it is, we are continuing the zoom cultivation, shifting cultivation, which is vastly affecting the forest belt. And we are using charcoal during the time of the winters, which rotate out even the trees plant. And this, if we cannot provide alternative ways and means for the villagers in the hills particularly, we cannot forcibly take out their livelihood. So we have to find out an alternative way so that the hills peoples, village people can use alternative way for survival. They are doing it for survival, nothing for itself. They doesn't want to destroy the forest also. But it is a question of kya khayega. That is the things. So I'm very happy that at least due to this climate change, the people have started knowing the northeast part of the India also. And we are very much careful of it. We have already started since 2004.
Mayambu Thagat Wahi Phongdukladuna Wainaba Chandra, Director, Directorate of Environment, Government of Manipur.
I would like to express our heartfelt thanks to Sri Ngangom Biren Singh, Honorable Chief Minister Manipur, for kindly gracing the program on the dais. Sir, in your address, you have rightly mentioned that the northeastern region of the country in general and the Manipur in particular are highly susceptible to climate change, not only because of high physical exposure, but also livelihoods and economic activities are closely tied to the natural resource base. Thank you, sir. I would also like to express our sincere gratitude and thanks to Sri SHYAMKUMAR, Honorable Minister, Forest and Environment, for kindly gracing this orientation program and highlighting the alarming impacts of climate change in its highly visible and tangible form of frequent flash floods and landslides which have occurred recently in the state. Which the Honorable Minister wants to draw attention towards the need for improvement of livelihood and sustainability with more resilient climate change adaptation programs. Thank you, sir, for your kind, valuable message, sir.